Act 3. Tent below even, with shabby skins and benches. There is an opening at each side, and at back, the latter closed. Old woman comes in with food and fruits and arranges them on table. Conchubar comes in on right. Conchubar, sharply. Has no one come with news for me? Old woman. I've seen no one at all, Conchubar. Conchubar watches her working for a moment, then makes sure opening it back is closed. Go up then to even. You're not wanting here. A noise is heard off left. Who is that? Old woman, going off. It's Lower Chem coming again. She's a great wonder for jogging back and forward through the world, and I made certain she'd be off to meet them. But she's coming alone, Conchubar. My dear child Deirdre isn't with her at all. Conchubar, go up so and leave us. Old woman, pleadingly. I'd be well pleased to set my eyes on Deirdre if she's coming this night as we're told. Conchubar, impatiently. It's not long now till you'll see her. But I've matters with Lower Chem, and let you go on now, I'm saying. He shows her at right, as Lower Chem comes in on left. Lower Chem, looking round her with suspicion. This is a queer place to find you. And it's a queer place to be lodging Nishi and his brothers, and Deirdre with them, and a lot of us tired out with the long way we've been walking. You've come along with them the whole journey? I have then, though I've no call now to be wandering that length to a wedding or a burial of the two together. She sits down wearily. It's a poor thing the way me and you is getting old, Conchubar, and I'm thinking you yourself have no call to be loitering this place getting your death maybe in the cold of night. I'm waiting only to know as Fergus stopped in the north. Lower Chem, more sharply. He's stopped surely, and that's a trick has me thinking you have it in mind to bring trouble this night on Even and Ireland and the big worlds east beyond them. She goes to him. And yet you do well to be going to your done, and not putting shame on her meeting the High King, and she's seamed and sweaty in great disorder from the dust of many roads. Ah, Conchubar, my lad. Beauty goes quickly in the woods, and you'd let a great gasp, I'm telling you, if you set your eyes this night on Deirdre. Conchubar, fiercely. It's little I care if she's white and worn, for it's I did rear her from a child should have a good right to meet her and see her always. Lower Chem, put back. A good right, is it? Having the blind a good right to be seen and the lame to be dancing, and the dummies singing tunes? It's that right you have to be looking for gaiety on Deirdre's lips. Come on to your done, I'm saying, and leave her quiet for one night itself. I'll not go. When it's long enough I am above my dun, stretching east and west without a comrade, and I more needy maybe than the thieves of Meath. You think I'm old and wise, but I tell you the wise know the old must die, and they'll leave no chance for a thing slipping from them they've set their blood to win. If you're old and wise, it's I'm the same, Conchubar, and I'm telling you, you'll not have her, though you're ready to destroy mankind and skin the gods to win her. There's things the king can't have, Conchubar, and if you go rampaging this night, you'll be apt to win nothing but death for many and a sloppy face of trouble on your own self before the day will come. It's too much talk you have. Goes right, anxiously. Where is Owen? Did you see him no place when you come on the road? Lower Chem, stiffly. I seen him, surely. He went spying on Nishi. And now the worms is spying on his own inside. Nishi killed him? He did not then. It was Owen destroyed himself, running mad because of Deirdre. Fools and kings and scholars are all one in the story with her like. And Owen thought he'd be a great man, being the first corpse in the game you'd play this night in even. Conchubar, turning to her with excitement. It's yourself should be the first corpse. But my other messengers are coming. Men from the clans that hated Wisna. Lower Chem, drawing back hopelessly. Then the gods have pity on us all. Men come in with weapons. Conchubar. Are Awinla and Arden separate from Nishi? Men. They are, Conchubar. We've got them off, saying they were needed to make ready Deirdre's house. And Nishi and Deirdre are coming? Soldier. Nishi's coming surely, and a woman with him is putting out the glory of the moon is rising, and the sun is going down. Conachar, triumphant, to Lower Kem. That's your story? That she seemed and ugly? Soldier, I have more news. When that woman heard you were bringing Nishi to this place, she sent a horseboy called Fergus from the north. Conachar, to Lower Kem. It's for that you've been playing your tricks. But what you've won is a nearer death for Nishi. To soldiers. Go up and call my fighters, and take that woman up to even. Lower Kem. I'd liefer stay this place. I've done my best, but if a bad end is coming, surely it would be a good thing maybe if I was here to tend her. Conachar, fiercely. Take her to even. It's too many tricks she's tried this day already. A soldier goes to her. Lower Kem. Don't touch me. She puts her cloak round and catches Conachar's arm. I thought to stay your hand with my stories till Fergus would come to be beside them. The way I'd save yourself, Conachar, and Nishi, and even Vaha, and I'll walk up now into your halls and I'll say, with a gesture, it's here nettles will be grown, and beyond thistles and docks. I'll go into your high chambers where you've been figuring yourself stretching out your neck for the kisses of a queen of women, and I'll say it's here there'll be deer stirring, and goats scratching and sheep waking and coughing when there's a great wind from the north. Conachar, shaking himself loose. Take her away. I'm going surely. And in a short space I'll be sitting up with many listening to the flames crackling, and the beams breaking, and I look on the great blaze will be the end of even. She goes out. Conachar, looking out left. I see two people in the trees. It should be Nishi and Deirdre. To soldier. Let you tell them they'll lodge here tonight. He goes off right. Nishi and Deirdre come in on left, very weary. Nishi. Is it this place he's made ready for myself and Deirdre? Soldier. The Red Branch house is being aired and swept, and you'll be called there when a space is by. Till then you'll find fruits and drink on this table, and so the gods be with you. He goes right. Nishi, looking around. It's a strange place he's put us camping, and we come back as friends. Deirdre. He's likely making up a welcome for us, having curtains shaken out and rich rooms put in order, and it's right he'd have great state to meet us, and you his sister's sons. Nishi, gloomily. It's little we want with state or rich rooms or curtains, when we're used to the ferns only and cold streams and they making a stir. Deirdre, roaming around room. We want what is all right and even. Looks at hangings. And though he's rich in store for us, it's a shabby, ragged place he's putting us waiting, with frayed rugs and skins are eaten by the moths. Nishi, a little impatiently. There are few would worry over skins and moths on this first night that we've come back to even. Deirdre, brightly. You should be well pleased as for that I'd worry all times, when it's I have kept your tent these 7 years, as tidy as a beehive or a linnet's nest. If Conachar had a queen like me and even, he would not have stretched these rags to meet us. She pulls hanging, and it opens. There's new earth on the ground, and a trench dug. It's a grave, Nishi, that is wide and deep. Nishi goes over and pulls back curtain showing grave. And that'll be our home in even. He's dug it wisely at the butt of a hill with fallen trees to hide it. He'll want to have us killed and buried before Fergus comes. Deirdre, in a faint voice. Take me away. Take me to hide in the rocks, for the night is coming quickly. Nishi, pulling himself together. I will not leave my brothers. It's of us too he's jealous. Come away to the places where we're used to have our company. Wouldn't it be a good thing to lie hid in the high ferns together? She pulls him left. I hear strange words in the trees. Nishi, it should be the strange fighters of Conachar. I saw them passing as we came. Deirdre, pulling him towards the right. Come to this side. Listen, Nishi. There are more of them. We are shut in, and I have not a Winlow or Arden to stand near me. Isn't it a hard thing that we three who have conquered many may not die together? Deirdre, sinking down. And isn't it a hard thing that you and I are this place by our open grave? Though none have lived had happiness like ours those days in Alban that went by so quick. It's a hard thing, surely we've lost those days forever. And yet it's a good thing maybe that it all goes quick. For when I'm in that grave, it's soon a day'll come you'll be too weary to be crying out. And that day'll bring you ease. I'll not be here to know if that is true. It's our 3 selves he'll kill tonight. And then in 2 months or 3, you'll see him walking down for courtship with yourself. I'll not be here. You'd best keep off him, maybe. And then, when the time comes, make your way to some place west in Donegal. And it's there you'll get used to stretching out lonesome at the fall of night, and waking lonesome for the day. Let you not be saying things are worse than death. Nishi, a little recklessly. I've one word left. If a day comes in the west that the larks are cocking their crests on the edge of the clouds, and the cuckoo's making a stir, and there's a man you'd fancy, let you not be thinking that day I'd be well pleased you'd go on keening always. Deirdre, half surprised, turning to look at him. And if I was that died, Nishi, would you take another woman to fill up my place? It's little I know, saving only that it's a hard and bitter thing leaving the earth, and a worse and harder thing leaving yourself alone and desolate to be making lamentation on its face always. I'll die when you do, Nishi. I'd not have come from Alban, but I knew I'd be along with you in even, and you living or dead. Yet this night it's strange and distant talk you're making only. There's nothing surely the like of a new grave of open earth for putting a great space between 2 friends that love. If there isn't, maybe it's that grave when it's closed will make us one forever. And we 2 lovers have a great space without weariness or growing old or any sadness of the mind. Conchubar comes in on right. Conchubar. I bid you welcome, Nishi. Nishi, standing up, watching himself. You're welcome, Conchubar. I'm well pleased you've come. Conchubar, blandly. Let you not think bad of this place where I've put you, till other rooms are readied. Nishi, breaking out. We know the room you've readied. We know what stirred you to send your seals and Fergus into Alban and to stop him in the north. Opening curtain and pointing to the grave. And dig that grave before us. Now I ask what brought you here. I've come to look on Deirdre. Look on her. You're a knacky fancy, and it's well you choose the one you lure from Alban. Look on her, I tell you. And when you've looked, I've got 10 fingers will squeeze your mottled goose neck, though you're a king itself. Hush, Nishi. Maybe Conchubar will make peace. Do not mind him, Conchubar. He has cause to rage. It's little I heed his raging when a call would bring my fighters from the trees. But what do you say, Deirdre? I'll say so near that grave we seem 3 lonesome people, and by a new-made grave there's no man will keep brooding on a woman's lips, or on the man he hates. It's not long till your own grave will be dug and even, and you'd go down to it more easy if you let call a Winla and Arden, the way we'd have a supper all together and fill that grave, and you'll be well pleased from this our having 4 new friends the like of us in even. Conchubar, looking at her for a moment. That's the first friendly word I've heard you speaking, Deirdre. A game the like of yours should be proper thing for softening the heart and putting sweetness in the tongue. And yet this night, when I hear you, I've small blame left for Nishi that he stole you off from Ulster. Deirdre, to Nishi. Now, Nishi, answer gently and we'll be friends tonight. Nishi, doggedly. I have no call but to be friendly. I'll answer what you will. Deirdre, taking Nishi's hands. Then you'll call Conchubar your friend and king, the man who reared me up upon Slieve Fua. As Conchubar is going to clasp Nishi's hand, cries are heard behind. Conchubar. What noise is that? A Winla behind. Nishi! Nishi, come to us, we are betrayed and broken! Nishi. It's a Winla crying out in a battle. Conchubar. I was near one this night, but death's between us now. He goes out. Deirdre, clinging to Nishi. There is no battle. Do not leave me, Nishi. I must go to them. Do not leave me, Nishi. Let us creep up in the darkness behind the grave. If there's a battle, maybe the strange fighters will be destroyed when Winla and Arden are against them. Cries are heard. Nishi, wildly. I hear Arden crying out. Do not hold me from my brothers. Do not leave me, Nishi. Do not leave me broken and alone. I cannot leave my brothers when it is I have defied the king. I will go with you. You cannot come. Do not hold me from the fight. He throws her aside almost roughly. Go to your brothers. For 7 years you have been kindly, but the hardness of death has come between us. Nishi, looking at her aghast. And you'll have me meet death with a hard word from your lips in my ear. We've had a dream, but this night has waked us surely. In a little while we've lived too long, Nishi. And isn't it a poor thing we should miss the safety of the grave, and we trampling its edge? Owinla, behind. Nishi! Nishi, we are attacked and ruined! Let you go where they are calling. She looks at him for an instant, coldly. Have you no shame loitering and talking a cruel death facing Owinla and Arden in the woods? Nishi, frantic. They'll not get a death that's cruel, and they with men alone. It's women that have loved are cruel only. And if I went on living from this day, I'd be putting a curse on the lot of them I'd meet walking in the east and west, putting a curse on the sun that gave them beauty, and on the matter and the stone crop put red upon their cloaks. Deirdre, bitterly. I'm well pleased there's no one in this place to make a story that Nishi was a laughingstock the night he died. There not be many to make a story, for that mockery is in your eyes this night will spot the face of even with a plague of pitted graves. He draws out his sword, throws down belt and cloak, and goes out. Conchubar outside. That is Nishi. Strike him. Tumult. Deirdre crouches down on Nishi's cloak. Conchubar comes in hurriedly and closes tent so that the grave is not seen any more. They've met their death. The 3 that stole you, Deirdre. And from this out you'll be my queen and even. A keen of men's voices is heard behind. Deirdre, bewildered and terrified. It is not I will be a queen. Make your lamentation a short while, if you will. But it isn't long till the day you'll come when you'll be pitying a man as old and desolate and high king also. Let you not fear me. For it's I'm well pleased you have a store of pity for the 3 that were your friends in Alban. I have pity, surely. It's the way pity has me this night, when I think of Nishi that I could set my teeth into the heart of a king. I know well pity's cruel, when it was my pity for my own self destroy Nishi. Deirdre, more wildly. It was my words without pity gave Nishi a death will have no match until the ends of life and time. Breaking out into a keen. But who will pity Deirdre has lost the lips of Nishi from her neck and from her cheek forever? Who will pity Deirdre has lost the twilight in the woods with Nishi, when beech trees were silver and copper and ash trees were fine gold? Conchubar, bewildered. It's all no the way to pity and care you. And I a share of troubles has me thinking this night. It would be a good bargain if it was I in the grave, and Deirdre crying over me and it was Nishi who was old and desolate. A keen rises loudly over the grave. Deirdre, with wild sorrow. It is I who am desolate, I, Deirdre, that I will not live till I am old. It's not long you'll be desolate, and I 7 years saying it's a bright day for Deirdre in the woods of Alban, or saying again what way will Deirdre be sleeping this night, and wet leaves and branches driving from the north. Let you not break the things I've set my life on, and you giving yourself up to your sorrow when its joy and sorrow do burn out like straw blazing in an east wind. Deirdre, turning on him. Was it that way with your sorrow? When I and Nishi went northward from Sleaford and let raise our sails for Alban? Conchubar, after a moment. There's one sorrow has no end, surely. That's being old and lonesome. With extraordinary pleading. But you and I will have a little peace and even. with harps playing and old men telling stories at the fall of night. I've let build rooms for our two selves, Deirdre, with red gold upon the walls and ceilings that are set with bronze. There was never a queen in the East had a house the like of your house that's waiting for yourself in Even. Soldier, rang in. Even is in flames. Fergus has come back and is setting fire to the world. Come up, Conchubar, or your state will be destroyed. Conchubar, angry and regal again. Are the sons of Uisnech buried? Soldier, they are in the grave, but no earth is thrown. Conchubar, let me see them. Open the tent. Soldier opens back of tent and shows grave. Where are my fighters? They are gone to Even. Conchubar to Deirdre. There are none to harm you. Stay here until I come again. Goes out with soldier. Deirdre looks round for a moment, then goes up slowly and looks into grave. She crouches down and begins swaying herself backwards and forwards, keening softly. At first her words are not heard, and then they become clear. It's you three will not see age or death coming. You that were my company when the fires on the hilltops were put out and the stars were our friends only. I'll turn my thoughts back from this night, that's pitiful for want of pity, to the time it was your rods and cloaks made a little tent for me when there'd be a birch tree making shelter, and a dry stone. Though from this day my own fingers will be making a tent for me, spreading out my hairs, and they knotted with the rain. Lower Chem and old woman come in stealthily on right. Deirdre, not seeing them. It is I, Deirdre, will be crouching in a dark place. I, Deirdre, that was young with Nishi, and brought sorrow to his grave at Even. Old woman. Is that Deirdre broken down that was so light and airy? Lower Chem. It is surely. Crying out over the grave. It will be my share from this out, will be making lamentation on the stone always, and I crying for love will be the like of a star shining on a little harbour by the sea. Lower Chem, coming forward. Let you rise up, Deirdre, and come up while there are none to heed us the way. I'll find you shelter, and some friend to guard you. Deirdre. To what place would I go away from Nishi? What are the woods without Nishi, or the seashore? Lower Chem, very coaxingly. If it's keening you'd be, come, till I find you a sunny place where you'll be a great wonder they'll call the Queen of Sorrows, and you'll be great taking a pride to be sitting up pausing and dreaming when the summer comes. It was the voice of Nishi that was strong in summer, the voice of Nishi that was sweeter than pipes playing, but from this day will be dumb always. Lower Chem, to old woman, also sobbing. She doesn't heed us at all. We'll be hard set to rouse her. If we don't, the High King will rouse her, coming down beside her with the rage of battle in his blood. But how could Fergus stand against him? Lower Chem, touching Deirdre with her hand. There's a score of women's years in store for you, and you best choose will you start living them besides that man you hate, or being your own mistress in the west or south. Deirdre. It's not I will go on living after Winla and after Arden. After Nishi, I will not have a lifetime in the world. Old woman with excitement. Look, Lower Chem. There's a light leaving the red branch. Conchubar and his lot will be coming quickly with a torch of Bogdeal for her marriage, throwing a light on her three comrades. Deirdre, startled. Let us throw down clay on my three comrades. Let us cover up Nishi along with the Winla and Arden, they that were the pride of Even. Throwing in clay. There is Nishi. Was the best of three, the choicest of choice of many. It was a clean death that was your share in Nishi, and it is not I will quit your head when it's many a dark night among the snipe and plover that you and I were whispering together. It's not I will quit your head, Nishi, when it's many a night we saw the stars among the clear trees of Glendowru, or the moon pausing on the edges of the hills. Old woman. Conchubar is coming surely. I see the glare of flames throwing a light upon his cloak. Lower Chem, eagerly. Rise up, Deirdre, and come to Fergus and be the High King's slave forever. I will not leave Nishi, who has left the whole world scorched and desolate. I will not go away when there is no light in the heavens, and no flower in the earth under him, but is saying to me that it is Nishi, who is gone forever. Conchubar, behind. She is here. Stay a little back. Lower Kem and old woman go into the shadow on left as Conchubar comes in. Come forward, and leave Nishi the way I left charred timber and smell of burning in even Vaha, and a heap of rubbish in the storehouse of many crowns. Deirdre, more awake to what is round her. What are crowns in even Vaha when the head that gave them glory is displaced, Conchubar, and it stretched upon the gravel will be my bed tonight. Conchubar, make an end with talk of Nishi, for I've come bring you to Dundalk since even is destroyed. Makes a movement towards her. Deirdre, with a tone that stops him. Draw a little back from Nishi who is young forever. Draw a little back from the white bodies I am putting under a mound of clay and grasses that are withered. A mound will have a nook for my own self when the end is come. Conchubar, roughly. Let you rise up and come along with me in place of growing crazy with your wailings here. It's yourself that's made a crazy story. And let you go back to your arms, Conchubar, and to councils where your name is great, for in this place you are an old man and a fool only. If I folly, I've sense left not to lose the thing that I bought with sorrows and the deaths of many. He moves towards her. Do not raise a hand to touch me. There are other hands to touch you. My fighters are set round and among the trees. Deirdre, almost mockingly, who will fight the grave, Conchubar? And it opened on a dark night. Lower Kem, eagerly. There are steps in the wood. I hear the call of Fergus and his men. Conchubar, furiously. Fergus cannot stop me. I am more powerful than he is, though I am defeated and old. A red glow is seen behind the grave. Fergus comes into Deirdre. I have destroyed even, and now I'll guard you at all times, Deirdre, though it was I, without knowledge, brought Nishi to his grave. It's not you will guard her, for my whole armies are gathering. Rise up, Deirdre, for you are mine, surely. Fergus, coming between them. I am come between you. Conchubar, wildly. When I have killed Nishi and his brothers, is there any man that I will spare? And it is you will stand against me, Fergus. When it's 7 years you've seen me getting my death with rage and even. It is I surely will stand against a thief and a traitor. Deirdre stands up and sees the light from even. Draw a little back with the squabbling of fools when I am broken up with misery. She turns round. I see the flames of even starting upward in the dark night. And because of me there will be weasels and wild cats crying on a lonely wall where there were queens and armies in red gold, and the way there will be a story told of a ruined city, and a raving king and woman will be young forever. A pause. She looks round. I see the trees naked and bare and the moon shining. Little moon of Alban, it's lonesome you'll be this night, and tomorrow night and the long nights after, and you pacing the woods beyond Glenlade, looking for every place for Deirdre and Nishi, the two lovers who slept so sweetly with each other. Fergus, going to Conchubar's right and whispering, Keep back, or you will have the shame of pushing a bolt on a queen who is out of her wits. It is I out of my wits, with even in flames and Deirdre raving in my own heart gone within me. Deirdre, in a high and quiet tone. I have put away sorrow like a shoe that is worn out and muddy. But it is I have a life that will be envied by great companies. It was not by a low birth I made kings uneasy, and they sit in the halls of even. It was not a low thing to be chosen by Conchubar, who was wise, and Nishi had no match for bravery. It is not a small thing to be rid of grey hairs and the loosening of the teeth. It was the choice of lives we had in the clear wood, and in the grave we're safe, surely. She will do herself harm. Deirdre, showing Nishi's knife. I have a little key to unlock the prison of Nishi you'd shut upon his youth forever. Keep back, Conchubar, for the High King who is your master has put his hands between us. She half turns to the grave. It was sorrows were foretold, but great joys were my share always. Yet it's a cold place I must go to be with you, Nishi, and it's cold your arms will be this night that were warm about my neck so often. It's a pitiful thing to be talking out when your ears are shut to me. It's a pitiful thing, Conchubar, you have done this night and even. Yet the thing will be a joy and triumph to the ends of life and time. She presses knife to her heart and sinks into the grave. Conchubar and Fergus go forward. The red glow fades, leaving the stage very dark. Fergus. 4 white bodies are lain down together. 4 clear lights are quenched in Ireland. He throws his sword into the grave. There is my sword that could not shield you, my 4 friends that were the dearest always. The flames of even have gone out. Deirdre is dead, and there is none to keen her. That is the fate of Deirdre and Nishi, next to the children of Wisna. And for this night, Conchubar, our war is ended. He goes out. Lower Kem. I have a little hut where you can rest, Conchubar. There's a great dew fallen. Conchubar, with the voice of an old man. Take me with you. I'm hard set to see the way before me. Old woman. This way, Conchubar. Lower Kem. Deirdre is dead. And Nishi is dead. And if the oaks and stars could die for sorrow, it's a dark sky and a hard and naked earth we'd have this night and even. Curtain. And that is the end of Deirdre of the Sorrows, written by J.M. Synge between 1907 and 1909. I hope you liked it. I've actually been reading a lot of tragedies lately, I found, and I've also found that tragedies in and of themselves are not that different from melodramas, and it's kind of interesting because both of them have heightened emotion, heightened everything, and yet the only real difference at the end is whether or not it's comedic or if the person dies in the end. And that's pretty much the only difference between a melodrama and a tragedy, which I find very interesting, how there's just that very fine balance of showing true, genuine, and human emotions versus overplaying them. So, I don't know, I guess it's all in the hands of the playwright. Anyway, please consider sharing this with your friends. If you find these interesting and you find what I do interesting, I do have stuff on Spotify. I do have stuff up on Patreon as well. So if you'd like to help me out in the financial department so that I can get this podcast up and running and doing some more modern plays, that would be greatly appreciated, because I don't know how licensing works, but I do know that it costs money. So I want to get to the point where we can actually do more modern plays and I can be more modern. So consider following, subscribing, whatever sort of ing your particular social media uses, the usual spiel, the usual stick. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to have you back in Brendan Moyer's Playwright Corner. Thank you.